Hello everybody, Jay from the MTX family here. We are going through the showroom and we're seeing some old builds that have been stored away. We decided to bring them out and give you a piece of history that you don't necessarily see in the old magazines and videos. Now I have behind me a Cadillac Escalade EXT. We have built one before. Apparently we built another, and we decided to bring Jason. He was part of our Thunder Force and the original builder of this Cadillac. First and foremost, I want to ask, we built an Escalade before. Why another Escalade?
We had a small fleet of them that were regional vehicles. So we had a few to choose from. They just happened to all be EXTs. We chose the other one because it was in better shape for the shiny bling machine. Yeah. This one was in not as good a shape, a little rough, but we knew we were going to do some things to this truck that we weren't going to come back from. So it only made sense if you're going to get that far into a build to use the lesser roadworthy of the two.
How long was it, when you went from one truck to the next truck?
As far as the public knew, it was a couple of years, but we had already started building this one a year into the tour of the first one to release the following year. And then the two trucks toured together for another couple of years. So we would show up at events, wherever they'd be, with two giant Escalades.
So you just had them parked right next to each other?
Usually on other ends of the booth because they're equally as loud, so one would go off and then the other one would go off, and I shouldn't say equally as loud, the jackhammer is louder than this one.
Yeah, I don't really know much of anything of this build. We just pulled it out from the cobwebs, and I want to go through and see what the differences are and what made you think about these differences.
It's just watching the trends. We were seeing a little drop off in the bling and the era of music. UFC had blown up and it started looking more tribal, ornery, which is the exact opposite of the other Escalade. So that's the direction we went. And just like the other Escalade, we went over the top. In a minute here, when we go through it, I think you'll see a lot of the differences.
Let's go ahead and dive right into this thing. So, I see this is vastly different from the last Cadillac. Again, one of the first things that I see are the alternators.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about these.
It's a 3 alternator setup, 1 for the vehicle, 2 for the audio system. This is considerably smaller than the other one.
Yeah.
You can see that we kept the original one in its original location, and then we added 2 off of that main bracket right there.
Yeah, I do see that.
We mocked up that bracket with a piece of MDF originally, and then used that as our pattern to transfer it to the aluminum. And that was all done in-house, which is ironic because now, 17 years later, you can buy a kit that does this.
The bracket itself was hand-built.
Yeah, I've actually still got the jigs in the shop.
I did kind of notice that, obviously aside from the whole shine from the last one, you kept the flat black look.
Yep.
But I did also notice that the top engine cover, you decided to put one on there because
we saved the pattern from the other one because, like I said, at that time we had multiple Escalades.
Yeah.
And if something works, we're going to keep it.
Yeah.
So when we hand routed another one of these out off of our wood pattern and painted it this time rather than brushed it like we did in the other one. We did this used to be chrome. We painted it to match, brought all those colors from the outside inside.
Yeah, I see that.
But other than that, you could literally drive this one down the road. I mean, this one, there's no crazy switches. This is a 12-volt standard system.
12 volt throughout, because I noticed that there is no high-tech computer system, but there's just still full of power.
Yeah.
I did notice that the style of the truck looks a little bit different. So you mind if we kind of look at the side of the truck?
No, let's walk down it.
So I see that you have the same brake caliper.
They're one of our favorite brakes to use.
Yeah, it's the same brake, same engraved caliper. I'm loving the whole aesthetic, matching wheel. You did mention that the running board was damaged, but this seems fine.
Yeah, we made those. Okay. We assumed people would be standing on this, jumping on this, so we ended up making our own.
Okay.
And reinforcing the brackets and everything to hold more weight. The spikes we carried out through the install, which you'll see. These are threaded into the aluminum of the bumper. We went to load it in our enclosed trailer, and it's a 1/2 inch from each side. And we decided we need to take the spikes off. But now we have holes throughout the running boards. So we created a little spike holder just out of a piece of wood with notes on it. And we take those off before we load it to give us a little extra clearance inside the trailer.
Because if not,
if it would to move, it would hit the wheel wells of the trailer.
How did you know that?
when we pulled it in and the person guiding me in went, "Stop!"
I did also notice from the last build to this one, the paint is sparsely different.
This is a matte clear over a gray base. Truck was painted gray. Tim Armstrong at Creative Customs down in Clarksville, Tennessee. He does a lot of airbrush and hand graphic stuff. He did the airbrushing, he did the matte, and he did a few other things on the truck, which we'll see on the inside.
I did also notice that on the top of the truck, you know, you shave the
roof rack.
The roof rack
Yep.
from the different one. Is there a reason why?
Just to keep the lines clean. I'm not putting skis up there.
I kind of noticed something weird about the handlebars. I mean, the handles themselves, obviously they match the whole aesthetic and what you're going with.
This became our theme of the truck, which you'll see a lot of parts inside match these handles, match this Gothic tribal.
Okay.
Inside the truck, along with the logos, all the details, all play through those handles.
From the last truck to this truck, this doesn't look right, and I'm thinking the doors open up differently.
Yeah, it's what you think it is.
Okay.
You want to check it out?
Yeah, let's open it up. Okay, we're opening these doors. I see in my face 9,
18 subwoofers.
18.
It's a mirror on the other
There's
side.
half a car, right? The other half is on there. And I see the port is all the way up on the top. I mean, it looks like there should be more boxes. How did you end up managing that?
The box is actually half of the bed as well to get the airspace that we needed.
Okay.
We built the front of it structurally enough to hold itself together, then went inside the box. The back panel of the box is removable so you can crawl through and do all the fiberglass. So it's all reinforced from the inside.
Okay.
And the outside with the ribs and the spikes that you noticed, that's cosmetic.
I'm seeing the whole Gothic tribal aesthetic all around the truck from the front to the rear. I'm even seeing it on, you know, this TV. Is that the TV screen?
That is a TV screen.
Okay.
We use this like, normally during demo hours, the shows don't want you just banging all day long.
Right.
You know, 1 an hour. But during the time, we'll turn it down to a reasonable level and play music videos.
These are floating tweeters? Is that what it looks like?
That's what it looks like, yes. But there's actually, in the back of those brackets, there are channels that the wires are installed in so you don't see any of the wiring.
Okay.
In the tweeters.
And did you custom make those in-house?
We did not custom make those in-house, but we worked with a vendor of ours that actually used to make the molds for our Thunderforms, which are aluminum. And well, basically I bribed one of the CAD engineers to draw what we needed.
Okay.
It's amazing how far beer and pizza will go these days. And he drew the artwork, we sent it to them, they made the parts.
Okay.
They were raw, we did the finishing and all that sort of stuff. And we carried that theme, as you mentioned, throughout the vehicle, around the TV. It matches the handles outside.
Right, I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, everything
Right.
looks to the T. The seats look about the same as the last one too.
Minnesota, baby. We shipped it all to Minnesota.
Everything Minnesota.
Including the top of the dash.
But it's cool because it's the same as the other one, but it's different, but it's the same, but it's different, right?
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that is different is the center console. Like, you just don't see an amp on a center console.
Well, the only other option we had was sitting them in the bed, and we didn't want them in the bed.
Yeah.
The thing with this truck is it would usually go to a territory, wherever that may be. Like, we would unload it at the hotel. They could put their easy up gear and stuff in the bed and drive it from shop to shop.
Yeah.
That's why this one stayed at 12 volts. It only has 3 alternators. It's got a little smaller wheel. It's a little more capable than the jackhammer truck as far as getting around.
Even just by looking at it, just everything just stands out. Everything's kind of in your face. And on the center console, I'm seeing the spikes from the whole aesthetic, but I'm seeing this a much larger one.
That is the bass knob.
Right.
I was somewhere else, and I can't remember, we were watching a parody TV show or something, and a guy walked to a stereo and he had a knob this big to turn it to 11 or something, and I don't know what it was. And I said, we have to do that.
So the interior looks vastly different. It looks great, but I gotta ask you, who did this interior? Was it the same crew from the last build?
No. There's myself and Craig. We were partners in crimes in all these. We were the base. And we had different people come in and out of our lives at different times that helped with different
as always,
cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, as always, even in retail, that happens. I was short of a fabricator. I had an ad out just on like 12 volt news and that sort of stuff. And I got a call from a gentleman named John Wilson. And he said, I'll take the job. He didn't even ask me how much it pays. He was from Unique Whips on the Speed Channel.
The
TV show.
Yeah, the TV show.
He was one of their fabricators.
Oh, okay. And
But he
just
wanted out. So I hired him.
Okay.
And 2 days later, he had his toolbox in his truck with what clothes he had, and he backed up to our dock and went right to work. And one of the first things he did was he helped with what we had already started, like the doors and some other stuff. No one had touched the top of the center console. And I said, John, why don't you do that? And he kind of milled it around for a while, maybe half a day, and I'm like, John, what's going on? He's like, I don't want to do something that you guys are going to get, pissed off about, because I know how my old boss was.
Okay.
And I'm like, can you see what you want it to look like in your head?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I can. I said, go. And he went to town and he built that whole thing in an afternoon. And he worked with us on the next few vehicles, a couple of years till life took a different turn. He made that shop flow. Like he was, it just brought a new life.
Wow.
Like Craig and I had already been working together for 10 years, you know what I mean? And he brought this new attitude and this new comfort level. And it was probably the most connected crew I had for quite a while.
I love it. It's different, but it's unique. And I just love the fact that you played against the first build into the second build. All right, Jason, I got one last question. Can we hear it?
Absolutely. She's ready to go.
Let's do this.
Help yourself.
All right. Man, that sounds amazing. I can't believe after 20 some odd years that this thing slaps as hard and as clean as it does.
Well, I give it up to the quality product.
Yep, and I also give it up to the installer for making it happen.
Appreciate it.
As always, Jason, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to kind of telling me the story behind the story of the Anti-Bling. I love to hear these stories, and hopefully I could find another car wrapped away far and I can get you back in here.
I'm sure you'll find one.
Yeah, no.
Thanks. It brings up memories for me too, so it's
cool. And then thank you to everyone who, participated in this build. Thanks for coming along. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, it's no problem. I enjoy talking about them.
If you'd like to see more of this builds, we'd also like to know too, because we had a lot of fun filming this, and we have plenty of show cars that we would like to bring, dust them off and show you guys some backstory on them. So comment down below. We'd like to hear about that too. And we'll see you next time.